everyone, it's Cynthia Toussaint at Women in Pain Nation with a thought of the day, always a thought of the day, right? And I'm thinking about my October Complex Regional Pain Syndrome CRPS anniversary. This October, right now it is my 43rd anniversary. That's a lot of years. That's a lot of decades. And this is a particularly hard one because they're all hard, but this one especially because I lost my mom this year. And I'm just thinking about all the loss, and there's so much loss, and people kind of get upset with me sometimes because, you know, why do you think of this anniversary? It's such a sad one. But I actually think when you deal with high impact pain and all that you lose as a result of that, I think it's actually healthy to acknowledge that it's been another year or it's been another decade. And I think that with this kind of loss and this kind of sadness, that it's a healthy thing to grieve, because there's been a death when there's high impact pain. There's been a death of the person that was and the hopes and dreams and the plans of that person, and then what happens as a result of the high impact pain, the different life. And for me, it's really healthy to grieve that Cynthia, that death, that life that life that didn't get to be because of the catastrophic illness. So for me, it's a healthy thing. And every October I don't think about it, but this is one October that I am. And this year I was thinking about the career that I was going to have, and I pulled out some the first pictures the first professional photos I ever had done. I was getting great auditions. I had a really wonderful agent, and it was like the world was at my fingertips, and I'd planned my life, and I, all while growing up, I was preparing for the career I was going to have in as a performer. And I was so excited about that life. It was just like, it was too good to be true. And which are odd words, but it was just like, I was, even in community theater, I was the happiest person in the world. And I did get a job after CRPS as a performer. And I remember thinking, I'm the luckiest person. I would do this job. I was dancing in places like Las Vegas and Reno, and the act moved on, but I couldn't because of my illness. But I remember thinking, I would work all day at whatever it was, Thrifty's, at a cash register to do this job for free at night. I loved performing so much. Same with community theater. I was the luckiest person in the world. I never didn't have great gratitude for living the life that I loved. And so I do think that grieving is a really healthy thing. But I will say that when I put these pictures up on Facebook, which I don't know felt right to me this year, a lot of people said, but look at the life you got to have, and you're saving other people's lives, and you're helping people, and you got that instead. And that was really kind, but it was somehow empty for me. And because I'd rather be the shallow performer, but I say that kind of in jest because I couldn't lose what I have. But then somebody wrote something to me on Facebook, and it really touched me, and I don't remember the words exactly, but he talked about that young girl, like, I like seeing her confidence, and she knew exactly what she was going to do. And I'm like, yeah, you knew me, and we didn't know each other obviously back then, but then he said something like that girl never could have imagined the rich life that she would live, or the richer, I can't remember what it was. And that really hit me. Like, I loved that. And I thought, no, I wouldn't, that's true. I wouldn't give up the empathy that I've learned, the compassion, the steps that I take to help people, and what I know, and what my heart knows, and what I believe in. And actually I've learned so much about myself that I could never have, why am I not that shallow performer? Why do I why will I not take dirty money? Why have I always turned down? Why did I turn Purdue down? Why did I know that that was the wrong thing to do? So I would not give that up, I don't think, for anything. I don't think so. And there's a movie that I've been thinking about, because every time I watch it, there's a scene that gets me. The movie is Postcards from the Edge. Great movie if you haven't seen it. Meryl Streep and Shirley MacLaine played a mother and daughter. I think it was Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher and her mother, Debbie Reynolds. That's what I've been told. But it sure seemed true, and it seemed like a real life. And there's a scene where the mother is saying to the daughter, I am jealous of you because you're just getting your turn. It was a young daughter going into her acting and singing life, and she and the mother played so well by Shirley MacLaine. Not that Meryl Streep was lacking anything in that performance, but I related to the mother because she said, "You're just getting your turn, and my turn's ending." And I thought to myself, I never got my turn. And so that scene really gets me because I never got my turn. I basically find myself, I'm about to turn 65 and I'm thinking, but I was just 21 when I got sick. And I've spent my whole life surviving. And that's a tough place to be. So yes, when people tell me not to grieve, take that. I've spent my whole life grieving, and my wonderful partner, John, surviving and grieving, but really surviving and doing a lot of really wonderful things too, and helping a lot of people. But really, we spent our whole lives surviving because he is stuck by me, and he is just, there is that, but I met him before. So that's my thought of the day. So tell me how you have spent your life surviving, and how does that feel now? And how does it feel when people tell you, but you're really lucky, that you got sick and you did these wonderful things with your life? How does that feel to you? And did you miss your turn? And what are you doing about it? Because the last chapter has not been closed. I haven't said this, but I'm writing a book. And I have not written the last chapter. The last chapter has not been written. That final page has not been closed. And so I'd like to hear about your story, about everything I just said. I had a lot to say today, clearly, and I'm tired. So I look forward to hearing from you. Cynthia Toussaint, Women in Pain Nation, send you lots of love. I know what you're going through. I feel your pain. I do. I feel your pain. I also feel your joy. So tell me all about it. See you soon.